So welcome guys, welcome back to the VFX Masterclass. So on this part of the tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to make use the rotoscope. Basically, the rotoscope is actually you cropping an object from scenes that you want to remove or you want to keep. So basically, I'm going to be showing you different ways to do making the rotoscope. Basically, there's one method everybody using making rotoscope, which is the roto brush tool, but I'm going to be showing you different ways to do that since this is a masterclass. So first, we already have a clip here. So basically, I just want to crop out this part where this guy is actually showing just few parts. The first version of the roto brush is this. I'm going to show you how to use this pen tool first. This pen tool. So literally, I'm just going to pin around this part and then come over to here. Basically, this is what most people use in making their green screen effects, like they crop out the image, the moving object from the background, and then they got this. So now if you can see this, you can see there's no background now. It's like we can literally put anything we want inside the background. We can literally change this to any color, pick anything. We can even replace it with a video, and yeah, wow, got a nice background. But you can see this part. If I should play this now, this is what you get. You notice this is not following the marks, is just one place from here, which is not actually following the whole scene, which is not good. So basically, for us to make this max bar work with this thing, we need to keyframe this. Remember what I told you about keyframe at the beginning? So now the next thing you got to do, since this is a max, you need to keyframe this by pressing M on your keyboard to bring out the max property, which is the max pad. Turn on the stopwatch, and then you have to manually do this frame by frame. Like you need to adjust this frame by frame, and then wow, this is gonna take a lot of time for us to do, which is not advised. Which is why the roto brush tool was brought in hand, because this is going to take a lot of time. Imagine me doing this whole process from time to time. Like a 1 minute video, it might take me weeks or might even take me months to fix. So which is why we will not be using this. Okay, we will not be using this part, so we have to delete the max part. So we are going to use the roto brush tool. We just want to crop out, I don't want the clip to be really that long, just a few parts. Yeah, will be good enough. So let me make trim to work area. Let me bring this closer. Trim to work area, comp here. So now, next thing you have to do is double click on this, and then select the it might take you to any part you want. Select the roto brush tool at the top of the screen, and then now all you have to do is just click and drag along your object. It manually selects the body part. You can see it just automatically selects every part of the body. So now all you have to do is now move this. You can press play on your keyboard by pressing spacebar, or you can just easily come here, allow it to play. It syncs slowly. It adjusts itself to the max part. You can see slowly it's cropping itself. It's cropping it by itself manually. It's doing it by itself. Imagine me have to do this by using the max tool. Like, it's going to take a lot of time, but you can see it's actually doing it by itself. It's rotoscoping the guy out. Now you just watch and see what's going to happen. And this is actually After Effects CC 2020. For those of you who are actually asking, the After Effects CC 2020 has a good roto brush tool, like it's advanced more than other After Effects and also the higher ones. So I advise you guys actually get the After Effects CC 2020 for roto brush. So let's just wait to see the end result of the whole thing. Is done tracking. You can see the movement, like you can see the pink stuff all around his body, and then here you go. Now if you should come back, now we should click out at this top here. If you click out the main composition, you can see the background. You can see it's gone. It's fully removed the background. Like you can see, wow, like imagine if we had to do this by using the pen tool, it would have taken us a lot of time. But you can see with the roto brush, it had done a perfect job for us by keying out all the background. Let me put this to the quarter quality, so it previews very fast. So you can see it's like, this is really amazing. It keys out everything, and yeah, sorry about this. So that's it, like it keyed out all the background. So the next thing you want to do after this, once this has finished rotoscoping, and you can also have a preview here. Let's just wait for this thing to finish rendering. You can see it. So you can see we have an amazing background here. It finished doing the rotoscope. You can see everything is being keyed out perfectly. If I should play this now, although that it's going to take a lot of time, a little bit of time to propagate. So you can see as playing now, everything is being keyed out properly, but only that we'll notice some tiny edges that are not that good. If you could actually zoom in, you can see this edge, they're not actually keyed out properly. So if you want to fix that, all you just have to do is go back to the video layer, double click, or you can actually just click on the layer here and then zoom closely in. Now for you to remove lines is by pressing Alt, and this stuff changed to red, the brush stroke changed to red, and you can actually just draw it. Basically you can see it keys it in, and you can see then for you to draw lines in, you can, since it's green, you can just literally just draw it. Green is to add, and for you to, like I say, for you to remove lines, press alt on your keyboard and then drag, select the area I want, and then just like that, it removes the line, and you can see it's trimming it in. Alt and then click it. You can see it now has a perfect edge now. So for the sake of this is just a tutorial, I'm not going to be making this perfect, I'm just showing you. And also if you want to increase the brush size, you can see it's somehow small. If I want to increase that, all you have to do is press control and then left click and then slide up. If you're using the mouse, slide up or slide down. Slide up for it to get big and slide down for it to get small. Just remember, control left click button. If you're using a normal dex pad on your laptop, just press the control left click and then slide up with the dex pad on the dex pad, or if you're using the mouse, wheel up or wheel down. So that's it, to increase and decrease the size of the pen. So now let's say we are okay with our rotoscope. Now the next thing you have to do is click on freeze. So now what this basically does is it's actually rendering all the frame that were freeze. Like this is not that perfect though. This, just for the sake of tutorial, I'm just gonna keep it this way. So we just pretend like as if it's perfect, just for the sake of time. So let's just wait for it to finish doing its work. Okay, it's almost done, and okay, one more. Okay, so now it's done. So now if you go back to your main, this was the part where I adjusted, you can see it just freezes back. Okay, so now it's done. So let me zoom out so you can see properly, see his facial. You can see this was the red background I actually added, that's why it looks this way. So if I can easily delete this, and you see it's like a PNG picture. Like let me reduce the quality so you don't get and you can see it's like a PNG picture. Everything has been keyed out without us doing any. We just had to select the image, and then it keyed out everything perfectly. Although there might be some tiny errors at the video, that's why you can manually adjust them. And also if you feel like the edges are too sharp, like you can see here, like I said, these were the tiny errors we noticed why it was actually in the rotoscope. You can manually adjust them by pressing alt on the keyboard to fix this, like select to add and then alt to remove. You can manually adjust this if you want the perfect job. So, and also if you feel like your edges are too sharp, I'm not going to talk about this type mistake. If you feel like your edges are too sharp, you can manually just increase the feather from here. It helps make the work look good, makes the edges looks really soft. Okay, I know you might not be understanding, most of you might not understand what the feather actually is. Let me show you what it actually does. So let me just show you what that does. Okay, so basically I had to just use the max tool to max the top layer. So I just wanted to explain what the feather is. Like if you can see this stuff now, you can see the edge, it's somehow sharp. You can see how sharp it is, but if you say you want to feather this now,
all you just have to do on your max property, press F on your keyboard. This is if you're actually using the max, and then increase the feather. I'm just to show you what the feather is. You can actually see it. You can see what it's doing now. You can see if I should take this up, you can see it's making it a little bit soft, and it's making this edges are now soft somehow. You can see it's somehow soft, but if I should take this down, you can see it's now sharp. So the feather is just basically making the edge look a little bit soft, so it blends with whatever background you're adding. So let's go back to the Roto brush that we actually like. So still on the Roto brush, just like I said, you can actually increase the feather to make, you can see the edges look smooth, or you can actually decrease it to make the edges look really sharp. You can make it 0, it will be really sharp, you can see it. But if I should increase this now, if I should increase this a little bit, most people keep it at 5 is the default setting. So that's basically it for the
so like we might also want to check about this roto brush, the main reason here. Like I know you guys might be wondering, like we already talked about the feather, like we already know what the feather does, makes the edges smooth. So the contrast also, we might just want to leave that way. So this part, like it says shift edge, this is part I want to talk about. Like if you can look at the edges now, look how it is. If I should increase this now to about 100, you can see the edges are coming out real big. So that is another way to also make sure the edges are actually good. So if I should take this in back now, look what is going to happen. You can see the edges are going in like deep. All the edges are looking really good and smooth. Like you can literally see everything is actually looking good here. But you can notice that the his skin a little bit moves out with the PNG, like the background. You can actually see that's fading away. So basically you need to take this up a little bit to get back his body back. So maybe at least minus 50 be good enough, or you might take this down a little bit. So basically that's what this actually do. So let's move on to the other part,
brush through. So that's it on the Roto brush through, on how you can actually crop. And one last method, which is not really that user, I do use it sometimes, although that it's also another time consuming process, is using the Mocha plugin. So come over, so to add this, the first way you can actually do this, but I'm just going to use it because I'm actually lazy. Come and type Mocha. Mocha is actually an external, also an external plugin. You can literally install this. Some part of this tutorial we're going to be showing you guys how to install plugins like this. So yeah, so let's wait for this to open. So here we go, see Mocha here. All I have to do now is click on Mocha. It's gonna start. Let me leave this update. So yours might not be looking like this, but what you should look out for is this top settings here that looks like this. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is the spline, which is the X spline, or it might be B spline on yours. Click this. This is basically just like the pen tool we checked on After Effects. Like it's basically the same. So I'm just gonna draw a marks around this guy here. So that's it. I'm just gonna draw a rough one. I'm not trying to do a perfect job here. So here, I need to zoom out. So let me click out to zoom out so I can get all edge. So now, like you click that, it's gonna be hard for you to click in again. So what you have to do is click on this plus sign here, this one here. So add. So you can easily just drag it. You can see it. Add, you can easily drag it here. Add again here. I'm going to adjust the spot. So just for the sake of tutorial, I'm just going to make this look messy. It's not going to be perfect, but at least a little bit good. So here we go. So now if you want to adjust this edge, like if you see most edge are just really sharp, if you want to adjust it, you just have to do is click at the top and then drag it down. Like it's curved, you come to this edge, drag it down. Yeah, just make all the edges curved. So now the next thing you have to do is click on here, this T that says it analyzes forward, and then go. Let's let it track. You can see it's slowly doing its track. It's slowly going, but also you can see these parts are going out, so you can actually pause this to adjust that. And each adjustment you make, you can see a keyframe here. It's basically just like the After Effects keyframe. Once you make an adjustment on the keyframe, it basically adds to the workflow. So each adjustment you make, it's actually saving. But you can see that this is actually a little bit stressful, like getting really stressful, because this is not actually that good. I'm not going to be doing this, like I said, like to be perfect. As we all know, I'm just showing you various methods to whichever one you should prefer. The mocha can also be used to for motion track, like the tracking we actually talked about. So this is, you can actually see it's going out of hand, which is not healthy. So let me just leave this to the track. So I don't want to touch this. You can manually adjust this to fit in to the object which you're tracking to crop out or whatever you want to do with it. So let's just wait for it to finish tracking, and then so I can show you what's next to do. So yeah, it's done tracking. That's why you see this purple line, this whole purple line. So this is actually a trash track. You can see that along the line it went out of frame, like we actually pin it to track the full body, but see we track. And also you can see this part is actually showing red, which means it does not finish tracking this other part. So I can literally take it here, and then you can see here it says forward and this one says backwards. I'm going to track this part backward so we can get to the end. It seems this part might be the good part. It's actually going off course because I think the track point actually following the face. This is not actually used to crop out object though, so let's just leave it to slide. So now we got a full purple line. So all we just have to do is click on this point, save. So let me do a double check save just to be sure. So now it's saved. So now let's come out. So now you might be wondering, there's nothing happening, I don't see anything. Yeah, no problem. So now all you have to do is come over to this mocha here. You see this smart, click on this drop down menu, and then you see this create AE max. So click on that. So once you click on that, bam, you can see these are the max part it has been created. You can see this is also the same, like I told you, it's the same with the pen, this pen tool here. So basically they both do the same. So if I should, let me take this down first. If I should play this thing now, you could see it did not do a good tracking job, although it was actually tracking it, which is a little bit much better than this pen tool because it actually follows object it's tracking. Because yeah, that's it. So basically you can actually see this is actually another form of the pen tool. Like these are actually max parts. So basically, let's say you actually got a perfect max track, and then you want to make a tiny adjustment like this one at the side of the arm here. You want to make a tiny adjustment, you can easily change this by dragging it out, out, because this is basically the same with this pen tool that's actually here, the normal pen tool, like this, the same one. So it's the same thing as the max press. If I should press M on your keyboard, you can actually see it here. You can actually see this max, and then you can actually see this new one I just created. So basically the properties, the same way you use this max tool, that's how you can also use this max tool created. Because if you could check the mocha, it says create AE max. So this is also the same with the max, the pen tool, the max it creates. So yeah, that's it for that part. This is actually a bonus part. So basically, from what we've seen here, I think the winner of this rotoscoping, it's the Roto brush tool. This literally does a good job when it comes to removing object and cropping an object to replace background. Like you've seen the work of the Roto brush tool, it does a good job, cleans out the object from the background. So yeah, that's it for the Roto brush tool. So I advise you guys to use Roto brush tool to do a good keying out job. So let's move on to the next phase of this masterclass. Thank you guys for watching this video.